everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's weird to be on here on a Tuesday, but tomorrow I'm so excited. It's the album retreat, and the album retreat is so fun, and it's long though. It's long and exhausting. So I gotta get my dog settled down. Settle down, Moosey. You can go lay down. Anyway, so today I'm in the scrapbooking mode, right? I'm totally in scrapbooking mode. And I decided I uploaded a file to our Facebook group today, which is a launch event workshop. So basically what Close to My Heart does is they have a launch each new catalog. And of course, this is our very last one. And so sad, but I decided to share with you the cutting guides and patterns to the cool pages. And I've shown you the pages a couple of times. It also made a couple of cards. But I just thought it would be fun to do these patterns using the Let's Go Anywhere paper pack instead of the Honey Bunny paper pack. So before I get started, I just want to say thank you for all of your orders and all of your support and all of your kind words and everything, because I gotta tell you, it's been a little rough for me emotionally, just thinking about not having Close to My Heart, you know, in my daily life like it was. So it's been a little hard, but I know I'll be fine. It's just the idea of it hits me every now and then. And I don't care what Stampin' Up! Does, or anybody really. There's nothing like Close to My Heart. There just isn't. We've been looking for a long time for things. Anyway, so this launch event was really fun, and basically Close to My Heart gives you the cutting guides for, you know, like the color of cardstock and how to cut it down and all that kind of thing. And then at the end, all the instructions on how to put each page and each card together. And so you remember these pages, I'll bet, that I showed you. And so what I did is I took the Let's Go Anywhere paper pack and the mix-in pack. Isn't that card cute? And basically used this cutting guide. So let me just put this down a minute and kind of show you the papers I use. So the Let's Go Anywhere paper, this is the sticker sheet, and I'll show you the papers as we work with them. And the mix-in pack, I had a couple of them. So one of them I cut up a lot, but I really liked the periwinkle in this. The back is a gingham check and the front is a heart. And then this one has those cool like Disney style stars that I like. And the back is like a tufted, it looks like, to me it looks like tufted fabric, you know what I mean? There's kind of a real pale sage polka dot. The back is clouds. There is a bright yellow sun on one side and a stripe on the other. Here is one that has leaf print, and then this really cool, I don't even know what to call that, medallion sort of print. It's very neat. And then the honey butter, very bright yellow print. Now, I did not use the bright yellow print with the Let's Go Anywhere papers. It would be awesome with honey butter. I mean, with Honey Bunny. Sorry. Woo. All right, Moose, hold on a minute. I gotta walk over my dog. Okay. So the first layout that I wanted to make is this one. And the draw on this for me is that it has all these cute little squares on the whole thing. And the little details that Close to My Heart does that like are artsy details are really unique and special. And that's something that I feel like I grew up scrapbooking this way. And so this is my style. It's just how I do things. And so, I love, they did a pen stitch, you know, a pen drawing around the edge, blended ink under the title, using zip strips at the top like washi tape, lots of foam tape, and it's just, you know, it's a very unique and kind of cool looking, kind of a really unique page. And then page 2 of this layout has 4 photos, and it's just color blocked using the pattern paper. So it's really nice to have all the different patterns. This one is done on the light side of Seabrook. But when I pulled my mix-in papers and my adventure papers, I thought it would look really good on charcoal. And so the dark side of charcoal seemed a little dark, but the light side is really nice. And so I'm like, okay, I can do this. And so let me just grab my 2 pieces. And the first thing I'm going to do is like a pen stitch kind of thing all the way around. And if you have ever done this before, I recommend, I bumped into that thing. I recommend like figuring out whether you pulling towards you or going away from you works better, because I do better going away from me, but a lot of my customers have always pulled towards them. The other thing is, if you anchor your elbow and move your arm, it's harder to get a straight line. If you move your entire arm, it's much easier to get a straighter line. And this is supposed to be very, you know, organic. It's not supposed to be all perfect, or else I would use a ruler, right? So this doesn't have to take a really long time, and you don't have to go really slow. I find if I go really slow, I actually make curvier lines than if I go faster, but you have to practice it and figure out what works for you. So, okay, there's that. Step 1, done. So on the left-hand side of the page, there is a like a 10 by 10 background, and it is, if you look at this, it's white on this page, and I thought, okay, let's just do white. And so I'm going to go ahead and put white onto this page. Now, the other thing that I often do when I do these big pages that have lots of layers is I gut my paper. It would be easy to gut this, save the center, use the center on something else in the project. But just for today, I'm using the whole sheet. It just makes a little bulk in your books if you do this, right? Okay. Now, the other thing they had us do, right, is we took our patterns and we cut like 25 little squares. Now, I used the mix-ins and Let's Go to create these squares. And what happened was, when we created the layout in real life during our launch, I was like, almost all my squares got covered up. I mean, if you look at this layout, I mean, it has a big 5x7 photo and a 4x4 photo. So all of these squares back here aren't even seen. So what I did, I didn't cut out all the squares that Close to My Heart has on their thing, because I'm like, I think I I can do with less. So I'm definitely gonna need a border. You can see you need them almost all the way around, maybe not this one, but like almost all the way around. And then there's a little bit of peeking in here. And then, so I'm gonna get my glue and just kind of start gluing these down. Now, I am leaving, here's what I like to do. I like to leave like maybe a 1/4 inch-ish border, okay? And I'm not doing any particular order. That's the other thing, and my glue is got a little bit frozen over here. I don't keep my house that cold, but my glue does not like the colder air. I think I've been keeping it like 63 in here, and for some reason that glue, it's like sometimes it. Okay, the other thing I like to do is I'll go side, side, center. That way I don't have to measure everything. And I just try to leave approximately the same amount of space on each side. It doesn't have to be totally perfect. That one's not, obviously, but that way I'm not measuring everything. I'm a little bit on the lazy side when it comes to all the measuring stuff. So, and then I'm gonna kind of go the same way down here. I'm looking to see what's gonna show the most where. And just try to fill in some spaces. You know, I really love, I don't know which side I like better. I kind of like that side better, but here I am using the leaves. I love this check. I'll use the check up here. See, it's not perfect, but I don't have exact spacing and all of those, but it's close enough. And so now these two don't seem to show, so I'm going to hold off on that and just keep working my way around. Now, if you are like me, the way I trim paper using my chopper, I ended up with some of these weird pieces. They're not quite 1 3/4 inch by 1 3/4 inch. It's like there's a sliver. I had this much left on the end, and I thought for those ones here in the center around my photo mats, I could probably fit those in. You know what I mean? So that's my plan, is make this work for me instead. I want this to look really cool, but I don't want to do all the work and then just cover it all up. And see, like over on the side, I'm not sure this is even going to show. I might be able to use like this blue one over here, for example. And my photo mat will cover that, and I won't have to worry about it. Same way with this little piece right here. I just don't think it's going to show very much. And so, I can use my little little scraps over here. Okay, that could have been better. Is it too late? This glue dries really fast. So if you're gonna make changes, you gotta make changes when you, like, right away. So, all right. There, I like that. And okay, now I'm not sure where things are gonna show. Somewhere in here, I'm gonna have something showing. Okay, so what I did was I cut my photo mat. Now they used a 5x7 and a 4x4, which is great. But my pictures, I don't have a lot of 5x7s, so I cut my photo mat down to the 4 1/4 by 6 1/2. So mine is smaller. And then I have a 4x4. This is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 sage. And then this is just, gosh, it is 4x4. So it just leaves a tiny sliver of color all around. And then this is gonna go right here. So now I can see where I need my, little patterns to be, right? So I need one down here for sure. Because it's gonna show. And then up here, it looks like I need a full one right there. And then I just need like a couple of slivers there and there. And so I think I'm gonna put this one here, just so I don't have two colors exactly the same next to each other, or two patterns identical. All right. And I think I'm gonna put one right here. I think I'll do this one. Now, the backup plan for me is I have tons of scrap, right? I could always go back and cut more, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this sapphire on, and I'm just gonna cover my patterns up like that. That way I know exactly how I want that. I'm also going to put my photo mat, or my double mat on like this. And this one is popped up on foam tape, which is really nice because then I'll be able to tuck my photo underneath of it without any trouble. So for some reason somebody's messaging me, you guys. Who's messaging me? All right, I'm getting my wagon wheel. I get these wagon wheels of foam tape, and I just want you to know, the last wagon wheel that I got was $11 for all this foam tape. There's a lot of people online who use Fun Foam, and Fun Foam is great because you can it adds dimension without adding a lot of cost, and it's not as bulky, which is nice. Okay, so I am going to put this on like this, so I'm not going to take the sticky off of this corner right here. Now the difference between the wagon wheel foams and like Close to My Heart is that the little peely part doesn't come off as easy. Like Close to My Heart foam tape, I don't know where they get it or who makes it, but wow, is it amazing. There's definitely a difference, and it's just, you pay for that difference, and I'm really cheap. Okay, so I'm going to put this right up here like this. I just want it overlapping a little bit, and look at that. See, it covers up it covers up my blank spots. So I only left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I cut 7 fewer squares than what they called for. Okay, the other thing on this layout is it has 2 little side pieces that are like, I don't know, 7 inches long or something like that. And I decided it would look the best with the gingham color. So I'm just gonna, I want to be able to scooch. So I'm just gonna put some on here, and I'm gonna wiggle this in under the white. And I'm gonna approximate centering that. Now, if you are like super precise, get out your ruler, and you know, you don't have to guesstimate that. You can, sorry, it slid on me. That's the thing about liquid glue, is that you can move it for a minute. All right. So I really like the way the gingham looks on that charcoal color. It's just so neat. Okay, let me do this side. And I'm just gonna wiggle that under. Try to make sure it's about the same as the other side. It's close enough. All right. See, I did it again. I wiggled it down. All right, there we go. So basically, that's page 1 of layout 1 done. I haven't done any washi on it yet, and I didn't do the title, but let's go ahead and move to page 2, which is the other charcoal piece. And let me show it to you. It again has a 10 by 10 white square. So I am going to grab my 10 by 10 white square, and we're going to start with that, and we're going to center that on the page, right? The other question I've been getting lately is my ATG tape, because, you know, if you buy the Scotch brand on it, it's so nice, but it is pricey. Because some, like, retail price of a roll of this adhesive is like, I don't know, $6 or $7 sometimes. And if you go to Michael's or something, you might be able to get it for a discount. But anyway, I get mine at Tape Jungle. Tape Jungle. So I am going to go ahead and do my double mats, just so I'm not dealing with so many pieces. I decided to use sapphire in the darkest color because so little of the cardstock actually shows. And they did 2 colors. They did like ballerina pink and capri blue. See, there's like a blue and a pink right there, and then a blue and a pink. And so I'm like, I used sage. If you use the light part of sage, it kind of gets lost on the page when you don't have very much of a mat. So I'm using the darker side, even though if I wasn't using a second mat, I'm not sure that the darker color would look as good. But since I'm using this mat, so these, the outside mat is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. The white mat is 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. And then the picture will be 4 by 4. So there won't be very much white showing either. And it'll look really good though. It'll look, I wish I had a photo sitting here to use, but I don't right now. I have put all my photos in the in a pile for my album retreat. So there's my mats. Now, if you look at this, they have cut a giant color block and then a strip at the top and a strip down the side. And then they used the washi. So we'll do the color block. Now, I thought about using this stripe, but it just is so busy and it doesn't really look as nice to me as the softer gray. So I decided to go with the softer gray. So I'm gonna put that on. Okay. Now this color block goes down into this corner, and you want to leave about maybe 1/8 of an inch on each side. So 1/8 of an inch here and 1/8 of an inch here. And then at the top and on the side are strips. Now, because I used the gingham on each, on each side of the other piece, I thought the gingham looked nicer over here. It just kind of followed a pattern. And then I'll put the little hearts up here. So that's my next step. This mix-in is so pretty that it has that like periwinkle color, and okay, I cut that a little bit wide. Not terrible though. Ideally, it would have 1/8 of an inch here and 1/8 of an inch here, but if you have to err on one side or the other, try to make all of the outside edges the same if you can. And then I cut this one just a little bit short. I don't know. I was in a hurry. I'm not always perfect when I do all my projects, but okay. Close enough, because I'm going to be decorating corners and stuff. Now we have our photo mats, and we just need to decide how we want those. And I like them with the darkest here and the lightest here. Your choice, whatever you want. And then I'm just gonna put those on. Notice I'm not putting a ton of adhesive. If I did have to pull them off, it would tear my paper underneath, but it wouldn't totally ruin it. I could cover it back up. Also, if I want to tuck something in the top or the sides, I can do that, So I like to kind of be prepared if I change my mind when I put photos on. Okay, and now I am just eyeballing to try to make this look as close as I can. There we go. Okay, now the last thing on this page, this is basically the whole thing. Other than decoration, which I'm not going to use bunnies this time, but they used like the zip strips to make like washi tape on the top of all of the pages. So let's pull this in here and decide what to use. I grabbed the periwinkle color out of the mix-in page, but it's a little blendy. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It works on this one. It'll work on this one. But these over here, I'm not sure about. I may hold off and try the gray. There's a gray color. Let me see what they're... Oh, and then there's these, which would work. But for now, or I even could put arrows on all of them. That would be kind of clever. These are kind of fun too, but I'm just going to hold off for now. I'm going to keep this together and hold off on this for now. I really love this page. I love the colors of the grays, blues, and greens together. It turned out really, really nice. And yeah, the Honey Bunny one is gorgeous too, but isn't it fun to do the exact same layout using different paper? They go in different places in your book, and you can, make that work. Okay, I'm gonna get the next page. Hold on a minute. I have this like stack. Okay. So page 2 is really interesting. It's got a really cool effect in that you take a piece of pattern paper and flip it back, like fold it onto itself. And when I did it the first time, I was like cringing because all that pattern paper that's underneath of this blue is like, I should have gutted that. It's totally useful for other things, but I didn't, and I'm not gonna today. So you can like be screaming at me, you know, in the comments or whatever. The other page, the page 2, has this very interesting like giant triangle right here. It goes from here to a point, and then there's 2 little triangles that go to a point. And these 3 pieces are all made off of the same paper. So when you flip it over, this is like a front and back situation. And then they made this piece and the stripes at the top and bottom match. So I was kind of keeping that in mind as I was choosing my patterns, but it didn't exactly work out the way I wanted it to make all of it match. So here's what I'm gonna do, because I think I'm gonna use this for some of my car layouts. So my first thing I should do is fold my paper. I should show you how they did that. So let me grab my ruler, and it's a little hard to see. I'll use a marker instead of a pencil just so you can kind of see. But basically, when they folded this paper, they went down a 1/2 inch. So like right there, I'll show that to you in a minute. And then down here, about 2.5 inches. Okay, and then, so you can kind of see my mark is there and right there. And then I have my bone folder. So I'm just going to kind of freewheel this a little bit. I'm going to pinch it on my mark up here at the top, right here. And then I'm gonna pinch it right here at the bottom, okay? So you kind of got to start when it's pinched from on each side. And then you're basically just going to make that work. Wherever it lands, it lands. That's how I'm going to do it. Now they did a big measury thing, okay? I'm not going to do that. Yeah, my mark shows, but it's no big deal. You'll use a pencil, it won't show. Mine, I'm not worried about. But this is basically how this works. Now, if you want to gut it, I would flip it over, and you would have to figure out your cut. But you would say basically a fairly good half-size triangle. I know it's rough. It's really hard to not save that paper, I gotta tell you. So this is kind of what my layout is gonna look like. I like the dark here with the blue and the green. This is gonna have a photo over it anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach these. The other paper to this Let's Go Anywhere pack is this cool passport. Now, I'm trying to think of the last time I went anywhere where I needed a passport. It's been forever. I went to Mexico and needed a passport one time. Bahamas, I needed a passport the first time I went. That was like 1,000,000 years ago. Okay, I'm just gonna put that on and leave a little edge. What is that, like a little over 1/4 inch? And then this goes all the way to the edges. So let's put that down. And let's see. once this is in place, you can secure that flap a little bit too, because right now the flap is loose. So I would go ahead and secure that flap. I'm just going to do this number and kind of make sure it's down like that. Now, if you like it to be a little loose, like when I did this one, I only secured it in a couple of places so that it has a little, it almost looks dimensional because I didn't secure it. You could use foam tape here, and that would give it more dimension. You could use foam tape like right under this edge, and that would make it really, this page in person looks more dimensional than what I just did, okay? All right, so that's essentially page one, other than a couple of photo mats. And in this particular layout where I'm going to be using my husband's car photos, I know this wouldn't work, but in this one, I have a feeling my photos are gonna be horizontal, not vertical. So I'm just gonna hold off on that. I'll probably use sage green or that like shortbread or toffee color as my photo mats. I'm not sure. Okay, so here's the second page pieces. The interesting thing, of course, is that you have this top and bottom, and you have this giant triangle right in the middle. And let me grab my other half of my ruler. So when you use your ruler and you put it at the, you know, from 0 to 12, just make sure it's centered on each side, you know, of the 6. Right, when you put this down. It does matter on this one that it's just a little more precise, since we have other pieces that are gonna work with this. So, all right, I'm putting my ruler up, and here's my center mark. You could even mark your center mark on here and just match it up, but I'm going to go 3 3 3/8 on each side. There we go. Boom. There we go. And now it's really easy to put the other pieces in place because they're just going to go with it. Now, if I would have thought about this a little bit before I started cutting, my passports would have been upright and it would have looked better. But I just started cutting, and then I was like, oh yeah, now my passports are sideways. But in my case, in this case, for what I'm using this for, I don't think my passports are really going to show all that much. It was just an interesting, oh yeah, that would have been good. So if you follow that pattern, that is something, you know, to think about. Did I do that wrong? No, I did that right. Okay. And then the other side. I tell you it's easy and then I screw it up. That was hilarious. Okay, so we'll put that right there. And then I'm just gonna put a dab of glue on the tips just so they don't get hung up in my book, because I didn't get my other adhesive on the ends there. There we go. Hold that down. Okay. Then we have our fun little stripes at the top and bottom. Now, you could do the little airplanes, but this has been going to be for a car thing, and I really like this paper. I liked how it was just sort of a little bit more, you know, plain. It's really interesting, this pattern right here. It's a grid, but it's got all the colors of the pack in it. So love that. I'm just gonna attach those. It's hard to choose a least favorite and most favorite pattern in this pack, because I really do really like them all. Okay, I'm just going to sort of center that into the white space. Okay, now I have these geotag zip strips, and I really think they will be very cool, like on this paper, like right here. For what I'm using it for. And I don't have any other use for them right now. And my husband, he travels to go to different racetracks. And he always takes some very cool pictures of, you know, the different cars going around the track and the different drivers. This upcoming trip he's going on is to a track that he doesn't drive his car. He actually takes it on a what am I trying to come up with? Like a trolley kind of thing. And then and then there's like race car drivers that teach you how to drive and all this kind of stuff. It's very cool. Anyway, look at that. Isn't that neat? That's to me, this page right here is really clever looking, and it's all about the decoration and your photo mats, kind of calming this color, this blue color down just a little bit. You don't want quite so much of it showing, and you can see, like, you know, by the time you put photos on there, you can't even tell the theme of that paper anymore, which is good for me because it's not exactly a trip that I'm scrapbooking. Okay, so let me just one more time really quick show you. This is Honey Bunny, and with the honey butter background. And then see that what I like that they used like a little round thing there, almost looks like a button. Isn't that cute? And I'm thinking about using this one. Clever. You could do any of these. Wander, see the world. Oh, any of these would be really cute as like the little, you know, button on the flap. I think that would work really good. Even this one would work really well. Okay, so there's the second layout. Now let's do number 3 real quick. Let me grab it. Now, this one, close to my heart, is so amazing. They used a white background, but to make it cool, okay, on this one, they actually used a ruler and did the pen mark. And then we used ink blended around the edges, and then spattering all around the side using our shimmer brush. Fun. And then if you look at, so that's on both pages, and that takes a minute, but I may do that here in a second. The other thing is it's color blocked. So there are 5x5 blocks of pattern. So here's one, here's one, here's one, here's one, here's one, here's one. And then these are split in half and across the page. So basically it's 15 inches across the page. And then there's a 2-inch strip here and a 1-inch strip here. And then you can put your photo mats on. What I like about the symmetry of this one is, you know, 2 horizontal photos, 2 upright vertical photos, and then where the other horizontal photo is, they put a title of the same size on the other side. So it kind of made it all symmetrical. And then they like, you know, almost all of the sticker sheets from Close to My Heart have some kind of little banners or something. And use the little sticker banners off to the side like little flags. Popped up these on foam and just all the little words, and it's so cute. And we watercolored the little bunnies. I mean, the whole thing was great. The title, again, it was stamped, and we highlighted the letters with pen and put like blending ink behind the title. So that you can see that a lot of work goes into each of the pages, but does it have to be? You don't have to, but that's part of the thing about, you know, when you create pages and things like that, it's really cool to put that extra effort in. Otherwise, they're just flat. They lose some of their cool dimension. So I'm going to set my paper aside just a little bit. So on this one, I accidentally cut it into 1-inch strips, and I meant to leave this one 2 inches wide. And so I put a little tape on the back. I had some acid-free tape that I put on the back. You can't see it. It looks like Scotch tape, but it's not Scotch tape. It's like acid-free. And then it just holds it together until I can adhere it. And I don't think you'll be able to tell that that's not a 2-inch piece of paper when it's all said and done. I just had to hold that together so my pattern lined up. I didn't want to, you know, try to make it all match later. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and put my color block on first, and then I'm going to do a little ink blending. So I am going to start with these center pieces, and you can choose any colors you want. I mean, like if you like the green more than the blue, you know, you pick. It's your project. So I'm going to do the gray though, and the blue. I love this pattern right here. This pattern is like, it's like a map pattern of a neighborhood or something. You know what I mean? It's so neat. And so I need some WD-40 on my thing. I'm going to put my 2 pages together and make sure that they line up well, like at the top, because you want your color block to also line up, like butt up together. So put that together. I'm putting this together, and I'm leaving about 1 inch at the top. There's that. Then I'm going to flip this, and this will bump into this one, okay? So there won't be a gap. It helps if I get that on there straight. Okay, like that. And close enough there. Okay, there's that. And then I'm gonna go ahead, and now I don't have to measure anything. See, there's another big piece of that paper. I could use that. But then I have a lot of green. I used the mix-in pattern that I like so well, because, you know, this little circle right here, these little circles kind of remind me of like the navigation or almost like a pirate ship wheel or something. I don't know, but they do kind of look travel-ish to me. I don't know. And I love the pattern of it, so. All right, there's that one. And then I could put the leaf at the top and this at the bottom and just have all different patterns. Maybe I will, just for something different. You decide what you like, what you're going to use it for. We have I have a bunch of these like little kids playing outdoors. I have some photos of that, and I really think this is really well suited to that. I also have some trip pictures, Disney pictures that would look really nice on this color scheme. So that's something. All right, so now I have my 1-inch strip and 2-inch strip, but I think I need to do some ink. And what they did that looks so nice is they used a really soft pink, and then they used a pink for photo mats. And so I don't know if it'll be too much to do red, but I wanted to use scarlet red photo mats. I think it might be a little much. I might do a softer color. Let me grab it. I don't know. I think scarlet, eek, that might be a lot. I do have like desert rose. That would be softer. And I was kind of thinking a gray or a mink. Mink might look really nice. I'm just gonna do that. We'll see how much it shows. All right, this is gonna take me a hot minute. So let me get my silicone mat. I have like a silicone mat that I use to put my ink on when I'm blending so that my ink pad doesn't scooch all over the place. And then I don't have to hold my ink pad and then come back over and do blending. So it works really good for that. And when you're doing this on the edge kind of thing, it's good to start off on the edge and go towards the page. If you start on the page, you end up getting kind of these splotchy things like that. Better to have it be a little softer. Now the other color I thought about doing on this is doing photo mats all like in this sapphire blue, and then doing the soft green, and just keeping the whole thing blues and greens. But it was just a little bland when I started putting those cardstock colors together. It just wasn't, I don't know, wasn't enough, wasn't good for me. So now, all right, there's one. See how it looks a little kind of dusty or something on the edge? I kind of like it. All right, I'm going to do this one now. Now, if I had video editing software, I'd be like, okay, let's fast forward through me doing the edges of my paper. So, sorry guys. Now, the tricky thing about doing the spatters is that if you don't have, for example, a mink colored shimmer brush or a real pale gray shimmer brush or something like that, it'd be like, well, I'm not really sure how to make it look shimmery. Now you could use just the ink with a little water and then, you know, tap it on, and that works great, but I want a little of the shimmer. So let me get my rag. I'm using my all-purpose mat. I'm sad they're sold out with Close to My Heart. A lot of the stuff that they're sold out of, they are coming back in stock, which is great. But who knows when, and everybody wants everything, so I'm not sure. I'm trying to, sorry, I'm getting a paintbrush. And, okay, I'm going to show you my trick for doing this, okay? So this is one page and this is the other page, and this is basically the area where I want the spatters on each edge, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my mink ink and I'm going to put it onto my all-purpose mat. You probably can't see it. It's there. And then I'm going to take my clear shimmer brush and squeeze it and until a few drops drip out, okay? Do you see how that worked? And then I'm going to take my paintbrush and just mix it all together. And what that does is it creates a shimmery mink color. And then when I tap it on here, it almost looks like silver. It's very cool, you guys. I'll show it to you here in just a minute. Now, if you want bigger splatters, sometimes I'll drop it on a little differently, like up higher sometimes works. But then I get it all over everything. I'm like, oh, it's on my camera stand, it's on my everything. But it is cool looking. I'm just gonna drop a few on while I have it. If I have it, might as well use it, right? Anyway, cool, cool, cool. Okay, so let me just move this out of the way and clean up my table. I always keep a little squirt bottle on my table of water just to make sure that I have cleaned everything and it's not on my desk because I am a little bit sloppy. Okay. All right. Yay. Okay, let me hold this close. I hope you can see the shimmer. I'm trying to hold it so the light shines on it where you can see it glistening. And it really does kind of add a cool factor to the page. And no, you can't probably see it now, but it's there. And so I just, you know, it's a neat thing. All right, now we can put our 2-inch piece over here. And our 1-inch piece over here. I don't know why I turned that. I don't know that there really is a up or a down on any of this. It doesn't seem to be directional in any way, but okay, so that is, now what they did to decorate, they put a zip strip here and a little sticker line. And they did that, they repeated that little sticker line on the left side, and then they did a little pen stitch with a white gel pen, but I don't think the white gel pen is needed. I don't even know if it would show. So I have a couple of options. I have these zip strips that are in toffee that I think would look really neat on there. I kind of like them there, but they could go on each end. The other option I have is on my sticker sheet. These stickers right here, if you can, I hope you can see it. There's like that real fine little map print on it, and they look pretty neat. And I'm thinking that's the way to go. I mean, why not use the pieces that came with it, right? Now they overlap, they did some overlapping and stuff, but I'm just gonna put it on the edge. And then I'll just use my scissor to do that one. I'll save that little piece for something else. Cool. Yeah, I do like that. I do like that a lot. All right, so then get this other one out. And I'll put it on this side. So whenever I buy any non-close to my heart sticker collections or paper collections, I always try to get something coordinating, whether it's the, you know, sticker sheet or the little PML, like Picture My Life kind of pocket cards, or a little pack of ephemera, whatever I can find that kind of coordinates with it. I really do try to add that so that I have something to play with and I'm not creating all of my decorations from scratch. So our Close to My Heart cardstock is great because it has the regular side is the true color, and then the other side is the light color. And so I'm using the true color because by the time I get my photos on here, I need some boldness to this page. Hi, Heather. I know tomorrow is album retreat. I can't wait. I might pop on Friday morning just to show you a few of the pages that we have made so far in album retreat. I'm so jazzed. This is the very last ever album retreat. I know, it's so hard. But this is sort of the layout right here. And then, like I said, they did a title that kind of made the whole thing balanced. But I'm kind of wondering if this adventure might look really cool right there. I don't know. I'm going to play with that a little bit. There's a lot of options here for decoration on this page. And the cool thing is I have billions of travel themed rubber stamps or stamps from Close to My Heart. So I don't have to stick with just this collection. I can go with anything. And it would be hard to go with just this collection at the moment because a lot of it's sold out of the thin cuts. They have reordered everything that's in this catalog has been reordered. So if you have a workshop or a stamp set or something that you really, really wanted and you missed because, you know, panic buying happened, then you can definitely hold on. And they have reordered that stuff. I really like this toffee with this. I'm tempted to put it here at the bottom, just to here or something. I think I'll wait. I might use it as like washi strips on the photos. I might wait on this one, but I'm going to keep these with it because I really like them. They're like little teeny tiny geotags on the zip strip. Okay, so let me show you one more time. The sticker sheet, it's got tags, arrows. This, I think, one of these circles I'm going to use on that other layout as the button area. The geotag would be cute too on that. I don't know. Oh, look at the key. See, that's even another idea for like the travel thing. That's awesome, you know, for his car thing. Lots of little words. And if you look at this layout in the Honey Bunny version, they used the little words down the side. Oh, so cute. Cute. See, you could use like the arrows here or maybe one of the little tag, like this little tag, and then the little words down the side. Adorable, very cute. Yeah, I really like it. And all of these photo mats, I don't usually do this during their things. They love to put some of their photo mats up on photo tape or on foam tape. And I don't always do it. But in the book, in real life, when you're flipping through your books, you can tell. You can see which ones are popped up. So these two and these two are popped and this one is not. And when you're going through your book, it really does make your picture stand out a little bit. So I'll probably do it on those red photo mats as well. So just saying. Okay, I'm going to one more time show you what I did with the Let's Go Anywhere collection for this layout. This was like layout 2. And when you look at the instructions that I posted online today, everything is correct, but I keep thinking there was one cut that's a little short, and I want to say, I think it was on a card. It makes 2 cards. Really pay attention when you're looking at the cutting diagram of which project it goes to, because it's like these are like 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5 are cards. So if you don't want to make the cards, don't cut out anything for card 4 or 5 because our project 4 or 5, because you'll just end up with a bunch of scraps that you'll be like, oh dang, what do I do with those now, right? So the cards are adorable for Honey Bunny, but it would be harder to use these for the Let's Go Anywhere unless you have stamps to coordinate. I mean, the papers are great, but then they don't have the same kinds of stickers to be like, as like a thank you or a happy birthday or, anything. This is, the layout 2 with the folded pattern, and this is a stamped title, and you can see they used the little flags as like tabs above it. It looks like you've cut out a bunch of tags, right? So that's a neat use for those. And here's another little tab. I think they did an amazing job. They did a little tab there, and then I didn't tuck it under, and so I added that sticker on top of it. I don't think that was in their thing. And remember when I showed you this one before, this is the one that I did Easter themed or just flowers. And I'm more likely to use it as flowers. So I kind of put some removable adhesive on there. Just when I put my photos on, I'll be able to make that decision, and it won't be like stuck. Okay. And then here's that first one using mix-ins and Let's Go Anywhere. Now the thing about this, when I did this, is I added charcoal. This is charcoal cardstock as a background. It is not in the pack for Let's Go Anywhere. I do not believe. So you would have to have a dark gray or something in your stash to use. You don't have to use dark gray. You can use any color. I initially had it on sage and it was very pretty, but it was so blendy. I mean, it was just a little soft for my taste. And so I flipped it to something more dramatic. And so I really like how it has 2 photos here, room for a title, and I saved these little pieces for washi, like strips at the top. These are so cute, and I could put arrows or tabs on those. Let me show you the Honey Bunny version of that. So you can see they use the washi tape, and if you tear it it just really does look like washi tape. And it actually sticks because you use adhesive. And it's like washi tape never sticks to anything. And this is a stamped title and with just a marker line around it. And then that soft blush of peach blended on there. Very nice. Yeah. You know what? Adding the mix-ins, Alice, I don't know. Those colors, aren't those colors great? They really do look good. And this is the only use I've seen of this airplane paper that where I don't just see airplanes flying around all the time. I mean, there are airplanes there. You can see them, but it doesn't draw my eye the way it does in a lot of the layouts that I've seen made with this paper. This would not have to be travel themed at all. As a matter of fact, I was thinking with all the little hearts that I used, I could put my critters on it. You know, I take a lot of cat and dog pictures, you guys. So, my cat would look great on here. I'm just saying, I have tons of pictures. And so, yeah, this is a mix-in. All the periwinkle colors are mix-ins. And this is a mix-in. This is one side of it, and this is the other side. So I used a lot of the mix-in paper making these because I thought it added another element where it wasn't just red, tan, green, and blue. You know, everything was red, tan, green, and blue. And I'm like, I need something also to go with that red, tan, green, and blue, because this is the paper, right? I love this pattern. This is a great travel thing. And I don't think I used any mix-in on this one. And then on this one, I used mix-in. This is a mix-in piece from the color block. And this is, you know, those are one side and the other side. So I was able, I really didn't use tons. I have a bit left. So that'll be fun. Okay. Yay. I've been on here for over an hour, yapping like crazy. But, oh yeah, you know, that honey bunny and the gnomes for spring, holy cow, all the workshop stuff sold out. But I think you can still get, I think, the regular paper pack. Oh, big news. So the word is that they did make the gnomes for summer. And you know, that's the only season we don't have a gnome kit for. And the word is that we are going to have it as a special, possibly in April. So that'll be exciting to have something kind of new popping up. But the honey bunny, the gnomes for spring, all those softish colors are great for baby. I went to a baby shower this last weekend, and so, yeah, I have a lot of pictures that I need to scrapbook that are baby themed. It's been a long time since I've made baby themed layouts, so that'll be fun. I'll use some of these. All right. Woo! No other updates other than I realize everything is sold out, and holy cow, I get it. If you sign on and, you know, when you go to the checkout page on my site and you see your name, like Heather's Party, Alice's Party, or whatever, yeah, that's you. So if you haven't chosen, you know, your half price items, a lot of people are waiting for that alphabet set and that cool die cut set to come back into stock. And the Honey Bunny Workshop sold out, and so that'll be faster than the other two. But seriously, we're just waiting for stuff to pop back in stock so we can use up those rewards. My rewards, I lose them in 30 days, so they better come in before the end of March. So that you guys can all get your stuff too. So, okay. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to keep doing stuff like this where we use our you know, cutting guides and go through different types of paper packs. You know, in the future, this is sort of my plan that's gelling in my head, is that I love showing how to make fun fold cards, and I love showing scrapbook layouts using a lot of different themes and paper packs, and I think that's the direction I'm headed. I don't think I'll sign up with Stampin' Up, but my upline's working hard. My upline's working hard to talk me into that. So we'll see. It depends on what they offer when the consultants flip over. So we'll see how that goes. And I take your word for things. I mean, a lot of you are already Stampin' Up people, or you already have a Stampin' Up person. And so it would be kind of silly for me to sign up with them. And not only that, but I don't want to only show Stampin' Up stuff. I have a lot of stash. I'll bet you do too. So, okay, have a great afternoon. I hope to pop on Friday morning for a few minutes to show you album retreat layouts so far, but definitely next Wednesday, I'll be definitely showing the album retreat layouts so you can see how cool they are. Thanks so much. Have a good afternoon, everybody.